everybody. We want to just run through a couple things real quick. Orientation, first of all, thanks for showing up. This is great to see you all here. And so people, you got your buckets, you got your grabber sticks, you got gloves if you want them. Firefighters are here. They're going to do a training exactly about that question in a second to tell you how to deal with sharp things like syringes, needles, pieces of glass, whatever. One of the reasons we do this is to get material off the beach, obviously, to help preserve the environment for the water life, for the wildlife that lives around the water. I've collected, we have bags and we have buckets. And we ask if you want to, if you find something like a can or a bottle that's relatively clean and it can be recycled, you can collect that separately. If it's filled with sand, it's garbage. If you find bottles filled with sand, that's garbage. Broken glass is garbage. The reason we've got on the table, we've got a bag of bags and we've got buckets is in case you want to try and sort things, or if you want to split things up between people so that one person isn't carrying too much stuff. And by the way, if people aren't aware, a lot of the material that we find, probably 80% of it, isn't dropped in the water or on the beach. It's from inland, from our streets where we live, and when we have storms, it gets washed into the storm drain and out into our waterways, into the creeks and onto the beaches. So one of the things that you can do is organize cleanups in your neighborhoods, clean up things that may end up washing into the storm drain. One other thing I should mention is that large items are not as significant a find as small items that fish can ingest or water, bird life can ingest. The things that you're really looking for are the small things. I did notice on the beach earlier there's this huge sort of formerly block of styrofoam. That's probably worth collecting even though it's big, because it's going to end up in tiny little bits and pieces that can be ingested. And when fish or birds ingest these things, they feel like they're eating food, they get full and they don't eat anymore and they die. So you may have seen pictures of this kind of thing. So that's why we look for the small things. Did people get some digging claws? Did you notice those in one of the buckets? The reason for that is at the high tide line or the bathtub line. If you dig where you see plastic, you're going to find more underneath the surface, and you find those small pieces. So it's fine to take time digging out little pieces and putting them in your bucket. You don't have to get the big things. We're not really looking for that today. All right, with that, I'm going to turn it over to firefighters to tell you guys what to do with sharp things when you find them.
Thank you.
Thanks for being here.
No problem. Hello everyone, my name is Alex. I'm with the Alameda County Fire Department. I'm here just kind of give you a little bit of rundown on what to do if you find a sharp in the sand or soil. So first off, if you find a needle, it's a hypodermic needle which may or may not have been used, but we will all presume they're all dirty. So if you come across one, the best thing to do is to find an adult to help pick it up. And if you find one, it's generally best to use your tool to pick it up and try to avoid using your hands. Here we have a few different sharps containers. This is kind of more of a standard container you find in a hospital that you can simply place the sharp in and use this little trap door here to kind of drop it in and keep it secure. Here we have kind of more of a gallon jug style to where, if you have a lot of sharps, you can kind of just dump them in. It's not as secure as they can come back out, or they can remain, the pointy end can be poking out and you can still get poked. So this is not as secure as that one, but it's still a good container to collect sharps with. And in here we have these smaller ones, which we call sharp shuttles. So these are for more of an individual basis of needles. Maybe if you only have like 2 or 3, or you only find 1 or 2 to pick up. So the best way to go about picking up a sharp is that, let's say if we have our pen here and we have our sharp here on the ground. So I know not everyone can see, but pretend you can see a pen or a needle on the ground that's sticking out. The best way to do it is if you had your tool, pretend my hand's one of the clamp tools, you can come over here and you can either use another tool or the ground, but to slide the pointy end first. So then once that in, you can use your tool or another foot or something to kind of push it in. And then try not to touch the pointy end. And then make sure once it's in there, you can get 1 or 2 in there and you can close this off and it's secure.
Also, the area that we're going to focus on today is Shorebird Park. which is, it's kind of starts at the end of the walkway and goes onto the other side of the pier. And the tide is going out, so you should have space to look for things. If you need more room to spread out and find more, you could go along here down to Chevy's. There's cigarette butts that are pervasive in these cleanups. That's the most numerous item that anybody ever finds in any of these cleanups. Feel free to pick as many of those up as you want because they're plastic, they won't biodegrade, and they do get eaten by the wildlife, so collect those as well.
To kind of dovetail onto that, if somebody does find a sharp and you don't have a container with you, stick the flag in it, but it would also be good if you have somebody within voice contact to call them over rather than leaving it there and potentially somebody else not, maybe seeing the flag or accidentally getting stuck with it. So,
So my name is Marcy Greenhut. I'm with the Environmental Programs Department in the City of Emeryville within the Public Works Division. And we run a number of different programs related to our climate action plan, sustainability plan, to reduce our impact on the planet, what our operations are within the city, and also outside city operations to help residents and businesses reduce their impact. And so we do that in a number of different ways, by reducing waste, by keeping toxins out of the waterways, by improving building, green building, solar energy, different energy initiatives. What today is about is part of a municipal regional permit through our water board and our state water agency to keep the litter out of our waterways, to try and keep the environment as healthy as possible for the wildlife that lives there. And we invite volunteers who are always asking for opportunities to clean up in the city. We invite volunteers on this day for Earth Day and also in September to clean up our waterways. And for the city of Emeryville, that's mainly the beaches. So we weigh or measure the amount of waste that's collected and record it for the state. And in some cases, we collect data so we can contribute to legislation that's written or change how products are made to try and reduce waste that goes to the landfill or into our waterways. And so this is just one initiative. The City of Emeryville participates in a number of events for Earth Day, and We are doing climate action plan outreach meetings and outreach to other businesses at their events in the city to give residents and the people that work here an opportunity to reduce their impact and the tools to do that.